Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Linda Magruder with Linda Magruder Arts and Crafts. Today guys, I am going to be doing a beach themed painting. It is a acrylic painting, and I'm going to show you the photo that I'm going to go by. This was an old calendar that I had picked up at a thrift shop, and this is from a beach in Kauai, Hawaii. So this is really cute. So I am going to get started, and I have laid out some of my paints already. I am working with Liquitex acrylic heavy body paint, and we're just going to get started. So guys, I'm working on a 9 by 12 flat canvas, and I haven't laid any guidelines down. So the first thing that we want to do is lay down your horizon line, which will be where the sky meets the ocean, and it is I want to say 3/4 up from the bottom, and I'm just going to put a light pencil line, and it's just a guideline for me. So it is very light. You probably cannot see it on the camera, but it is marked right here. So I'm going to be working in the upper half with the sky. And for the sky paint, I used a cerulean blue hue. And I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to be working my way down the canvas. So I have my paint here all laid out, and I'm coming here to the middle, and I do want to add a little bit of white to that paint because I really don't want it that dark. Okay, so I'm just loading up a 1-inch flat brush, and we are just going to apply the paint. Okay, so I like to turn my canvas towards me when I'm working on a small canvas like this, and I'm just going to get that sky area in there, and I'm just brushing it on, and I'm every so often, when you don't see my paintbrush, I'm going into the water and getting more water, because with acrylic paint, the water is the key to get it to go smoothly across the canvas. Now if I was working in a bigger canvas, I would not, of course, turn my canvas sideways, and I would just keep working. One of the key to getting a really nice brush stroke that's really nice and crisp is place your brush on your line and continue to hold your brush without lifting your brush, and you'll get a nice crisp line that way. So we want our horizon line to be very flat. So I am just now putting in my, if I can get my brushes to stay in place. Okay, trying to get us all filled in. I have a tendency, guys, not to get everything in frame because I don't have a setup where I can see myself painting, and I'm painting overhead, and I'm painting and filming with my phone, so I don't have a setup where I can look. So I apologize in some of my videos where you can't see a lot of. Okay, alright, so that is that. And there is a few white clouds, so I'm going to let that sit a moment. So I'm going to refer back to the photo so you guys can see. This is the area that I've been working on, and this was the horizon line that I put in. So the next thing will be these clouds, and I like to use what they call a scruffy brush, and this is by Dewberry, and it is a brush that is very short, bristly, and rounded, as you can see here, but it makes excellent clouds. So I'm going to go in to the white, and I'm going to kind of show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to put a few clouds in, and what I'm doing with the brush, I'm just tapping, and you can see there that the clouds are starting to form. Okay, and then I'm going to put a couple just down in here, and maybe some more right over here. So I just take the brush, and this is roughly about how much paint. I don't overload the brush, and I'm letting it blend with that blue that I had put on there previously. And maybe just put a couple over here. Okay. Alright, so now I want to clean out my brush. Actually, both brushes. Now, if you refer back to the photo, I have this line drawn already, so I need to sketch in my water line. So I'm going to do that next. So all the way up in here, this is the water here, and the beach starts way back here in the background, and it starts to curve. And then if you see right here, there's a landmass, that like a rocky area. So I'm going to draw that next. And it's just some light sketching. And I'm just drawing the shapes of those rocks. And then as it comes back around, I'm going to be doing the rest of the beach area. And it'll stop all the way up in here in the foreground. Okay, so, and for camera purposes, I'm going to go a little darker with the my pencil line, so you guys can see, because normally you don't want your pencil lines to be that dark, but I'm doing it so you can see the pencil lines. So it shoots out there, then it starts to come out, and it's just, I'm wiggling my pencil literally back and forth just to get this beach line in. Okay, I'm going to make sure you guys can see that on camera. I'm going to push that up, and down here is where it kind of disappears in the foreground. Okay, alright, so the next thing that I want to do is I need to get the basic color in for the beach area that's back in here. I want to do that first. So I'm taking my yellow. I have a little bit of yellow, and then I am going to take, let me see if I didn't bring my color out. I need to grab a color, folks. Hold on one second. Okay. I've picked up some raw sienna, if you can see it there, and I'm putting that out on my palette, and then we're going to mix the sandy area. So I'm going to take a gob of my white and just an inkling of that brown, and we're going to mix this into a light sand color. Alright, okay, so now I'm going to start applying that color on my canvas. And again, this is just your background beach color, a sandy color, and I just mixed that brown with some white, and I'm just getting it, I'm just doing a backwash of this this color on first. Okay, I'm just coming up to my lines, if you can see that. Okay. So that is that. Now, I'm going to stop here on this first, and I'm going to the water. And I'm going to go refer back to the photo and show you the water is very turquoisey, very deep in the back here where it's deeper. The water gets a little darker, and as you come forward, the water gets lighter. So we're going to lay down the watercolor next. Okay. And I had laid out some turquoise, and I'm just going to do a thin wash of the turquoise next in this area. So I can just get rid of that stark white, and then we can build up our color after that. So I'm just taking this to the edge of my line where I had my pencil line. Okay. And I hope this video is not going to be too long. I may time lapse some of this so you guys won't have to sit through all of this. I wanted to get the basics down in the beginning, and then I may just hit the time lapse so it's not going to be that long of a video. Okay, so I'm putting this teal up close to the shoreline, and I'm just wiggling my brush, as you can see, to get it in there. Okay. Alright, and almost done. I had thinned the paint down a little bit so it will go smoothly across the canvas. Acrylic paint dries very quickly, so you have to work very quickly. There's products that you can get that will slow the drying time down, but I never hardly ever use those. I just have learned to paint quickly and just continue to go on through the painting. I think sometimes if you use too much of that, it changes your color, so I don't use the drying. Okay, now what I want to do is add another color into this blue, this teal, because I want to add some darker blue shades through the teal. So I just put out some cobalt blue. I'm just mixing it now. Alright, so I'm going to turn this, because being left-handed, I need to turn my canvas. It just helps me a little bit more than keeping it straight across. So I'm just blending through a blue, cobalt blue, through that teal, just to give it some more depth. Okay. See that? Okay. So I use a Filmora for editing, and I still, to this day, do not know all the features that it has, and I probably can do so much more when I edit. A lot of times when you guys see my videos, they're raw. They're just what I filmed. I upload it, convert it to the right mode, then I upload it to YouTube. But I really need to figure out how to really do some more editing so I can do some better editing. Okay, now I'm blending this through, and I wanted to point out that when you are painting and you are going in short strokes, you can see your brush stroke. You can see all those lines. So to get rid of those lines, you want to take your brush stroke all the way across what you're painting without lifting up your brush, and that will get rid of all of those lines. Okay, now I am going to take some green, and I'm going to add some green to the teal and a little bit of it to the blue. Because I want some green tone in my water. Okay. Alright, so I got that laid out. Okay, I want to switch brushes. I don't like that bigger brush sometimes. That's just not what I wanted. Okay. Let me get my teal. So I'm just working here in my water area. Okay. So the best thing I can advice that I could tell you guys is when you're painting, don't rush. Don't rush your painting. Take your time. When I was in school, I had an instructor tell me to take a month to do one painting. I don't know if I've ever taken a month, but I have taken a couple weeks just to get the painting. You know, just take your time, work on it a little bit every day. But sometimes I run out of patience and I want quick results. And I have a tendency to go a little faster than I should. But you know, it is good practice to start slow and just work at it little by little. All right, now I'm just smoothing out my brush strokes here, and I'm just adding some more green so I can get a turquoisey green color. I'm keeping some of that blue that I put in there earlier, and then once this starts to get a little tacky, I'm going to be adding some more blue on top. But I'm just trying to brushing out my brush strokes to give this a more smoother look. And trying to get up into those little crevices there along the shoreline. Okay. So far for this whole entire painting, I've only used one brush, and well, actually two for the clouds. I'm sorry about that. Two brushes actually, very little on the cloud brush. Okay, so there is your basic background, clouds, your beach, the water. So what I want to do next is I need to get in here and make my sand area up here a little darker and to make it look like it is wet. So to do that, I'm darkening the sand that is up here, because on the photo it really looks like this is like dirty to me, but it is wet, but it does look like it is somewhat dirty. But I am just going to make my shoreline a little bit darker in some areas. And what I took the same raw sienna and I just added a little black to it, and I am just brushing that along the shoreline. And I also added a tad of green, and I'm just outlining, going back and forth along my shoreline here, and make sure that I'm going over those pencil lines that I did earlier, because you know you don't want to see those pencil lines. But like I said, I only did it darker for the camera so you guys could see those pencil lines in there. So if they are light to start with, you won't have to worry about them being seen. You'll just paint right over top of them. Okay, so I am just going along, making this a little darker here. Along my shoreline here. Okay. And I'm just going to come all the way around. Okay, now in the photo it's very rounded here on the back side, so I'm going to do that here. And then it gets a little rough up in here. Okay. And then I'm going to be adding some darker areas along the beach here. Okay. Now, that's what we have so far. Let me see how long time has this been. It has been 22 minutes in. So definitely I will be doing some time lapse on this painting. Alright, so what I wanted to do here is work in the background, and you can see in the background that there is a lot of trees, pine trees and foliage in that background. So I want to take the greens that I was using, and I'll show you here. This is the greens, but I am going to add a tad of black to that just to darken up some of that green. Okay, so if I come out here all the way, I am going to add, and I'm using my scruffy brush again, I'm just going to go and add some of this background trees, and I am just taking this brush and I'm pouncing it in. Okay, now I'm coming forward a little. I need to pick up some more, because this whole background all the way up into here are trees, and so that's what we're going to do. The more black that you add to your green mixture, the more darker shadows that you will get through your the greens that you're using. And I just need to darken this up some more. So I'm going to be taking this all the way to the end. And I'm just bringing it out into the foreground a little. Make sure everybody can see that. So while I'm doing this area down here is drying more because I'm going to go back and work on that again. Okay. Alright. So I'm just adding some darker areas in here. Alright, so there's the green foliage in the background. Okay, now I'm going to clean my brush out. And I want to work on getting some of the white foam that is here along the shoreline where it hits the beach area. So to do that, I'm just going to, and I took a very small brush. This is a, let's see, what size is this? And goodness, I can't remember. It is a size 2, and this is a Royal and Langnickel brush that has the rubber handles. I love these brushes. They're my favorite. Alright, so I am just taking some white paint right along the shoreline, guys, and I'm following the shoreline area that I put in, just that pattern, and I'm tapping this white paint all along the shoreline, and I'm going to take it up past this area in the background and then down towards the foreground, and then I'm going to be taking it all the way around the beach area. So let me get this in. And I'm just tapping the brush in the white paint and just tapping it along the shoreline here. Just to get that nice white foamy water that comes in when you're walking along the beach and it goes over your feet. And it's just wonderful. Okay. So I'm down into here. Alrighty, so I've got that in. Now I need to go back to the beach here and put in the little rocky area that was there in the beginning. So there, this is a, and I'll show you on the photo, there is a little rock area. To me this looks like it is volcano boulders. So I'm just going to be tapping in some of that in there. Let me get my black. Well, let me see, guys. I think my black is dried out for some reason. Yeah, let me pick up another black, guys. Hold on one second. Okay, let's get some black. Goodness. I'm having some difficulties, guys, with my black. I think my black's all dried out. Alright, I believe it is. Okay. Hold on. I gotta go get another one. I am so sorry. Okay. Let's see here. There. Now I found a good one. Okay. So here in the front, I am just kind of adding some of this darker area. Show that there was some rocks through here. It looks a little green because I had a little bit too much green on my paint. Okay. Let me go back and get some more of that black. Okay. All right, now I want to go back to my ocean and add a little bit more deeper blue to that. So let me get my color. I have a Prussian blue, and it's on the deep side, and I'm going to put a little bit of that over into my ocean just to get some more of that deep blue into here. And I thinned my paint with some water, and I'm doing a lighter wash right over top. Now this is all dried now in my painting, that what I had did previously, so I won't pick up any of the paint that's underneath. Once acrylic paint is dry, it is permanent, so it won't pick up any paint that's been underneath that you painted already. Not like a watercolor. Watercolor will relift. Okay, so I am just adding that in. Just to get that little deeper area. Okay. All right. So there's. Okay. My camera ran out of memory, so I had to restart. So if there's a splice in this video, that is why. Alright, so guys, I have this much finished, and I had just applied a little bit more blue through my ocean area. So as you can see in the photo, that there are some trees here in the front, and then there's some foliage way in the foreground here, because we're actually looking at this from a distance. So what I think I want to do is put a tree, a palm tree in, that is right here on this side, and I'm going to bring it. Let me see if you guys can see. I'm going to start here and just bring the tree, and I'm going to cut in all the way up and go clear to the top. You can see what I did there. Okay, and I am just lighting it up a little all the way. Okay, so there is the trunk for that tree, and then to this side there is one straight here in the bottom, and it goes, it's like wonky, it's going up and out and everywhere. So I think I'm just going to do what it's showing and stop here in the middle, and then there's a branch that goes this way, one that goes this way, and okay, so I need to go lighten this back up. Lighten that. And this goes all the way up this way. Alright, so from up here, there is the branches from that palm coming down, and they're very dark, and there's a lot of foliage in between in the background. So I'm just tapping some of that darker foliage color, and then I'm going to be forming some of my palm leaves themselves, because they need a little bit more definition. So I'm just kind of tapping in this greenery, and it goes all the way halfway across my picture. Okay. So from here, here's where I want to start doing the look of the palms. Okay. And I just took my brush and vertically held it, okay, in the air, and I'm pulling straight down. Okay. All right. Same thing with this side. I have these palm trees, these limbs coming up, and they're abruptly stopping here. See, this comes up all the way up to here. And same way on this side, but I think I'm switching to a round brush, this round brush here. And I'm going to get my yellow so I can start putting some of those palm leaves in over there, because there's some yellow tones in with it. Alright, so I'm just trying to get in some of these palms, and I don't want them to like be lost in this background foliage. So I'm just trying to get in some of those basic palm shapes on the branches here. All right. Okay. So I'm just working at it, just trying to get these in, because from this photograph they're all going every which way, and I need to keep adding some darkers and some lights so I can get this to look like this is in the foreground. So I'm just working at the branches. Best thing about when you're painting, you can change this up however you like. You don't have to copy exactly what is there. Always put your own personality in it. I don't live very close to the ocean. I live roughly 5 hours away. So I would love to live by the beach. That's my place where it is the happy place for me. And find that happy place, guys, when you're painting. And really just let your creative juices just flow. Okay, I'm just building up my little area here. If you hear somebody coughing in the background, I have my window open, and it's my neighbor that is 2 doors down from me. And I apologize for that if you hear that. Okay, so let's get this in, and I'm adding some highlights to this to lighten it up a little bit. Over here, the same. Alright, so my area here, my trunk area, I'm going to be darkening it up with some black because it needs a little black through it and some shades. Alright, and this painting is almost done, guys. We're just about finished. Like I said, I will probably have this on speed time lapse. So if that's how you're seeing it, that's just to cut down on the length of this video, because it is going to be really long. Okay. Alright, so I need to get this on the darker side. Okay. And then right in this area in the front is where all of the footage, or the foliage is here. So I'm just adding some grass in the front area here.